Hello, everyone. Let me begin my presentation with this picture. A frustrated Claire that has to deal with a lot of paper painted by Henry Fuseli. This is an artist that was born in this beautiful city. And this is an image that had AI made to me. I just give this concept, and this is what came from it. And what I just want to do in this presentation is try to help this gentleman to deal with text and text and a lot of text of content, not numbers, not the revenue or just the information, narrative information of in the reports. So my agenda, I will give you a briefly introduction about text block or text block tagging in XBRL. And then I will go on telling you what we can do with it, a little bit about validation, analysis and comparison, and at the end, the challenges about the analysis and comparison. Okay, so let me begin. What is a text block in XBRL? So our block tagging refers to the practice of tagging of section of unstructured narrative or mixed concept in XBRL, or in not inline XBRL or XBRL reports. Just to clarify, I will only focus on inline XBRL in this presentation. Block tag can be used to tag single sentences or a paragraph or even a full reports, a lot of pages of content, including images, tables, and another content. And this is, I think, I can tell you that this is the challenging part of the text block tagging. What else do we have about narrative elements? We also have text tag. That is just sentences of our alphabetic character used to mark a short narrative part or of a report. Or we have the text block. That is the ones that I'm going to focus on this presentation, the large part of text content. We see here in visualization tool of a taxonomy. There we have a lot of text content that this one have normally a stream type, and we see the other one below there. This disclosure of accounting, adjustment, and where's the estimates. This is one of the text blocks, so we see on the taxonomy the difference there. Let me show you how it looks like. So this is one report that we have an inline XBRL report. We see in the blue box that we have decided to classify this content in the statement of ESRI compliance text block. We see in the red box that we have this classification there. Then we see a date. We see a fact value. That means the content is that we tag. And we have other information that is not important for a text block. And we have very important thing, an entity there. So this information belongs to this company, and this is with the live information. If we go in a deeper analysis of this, we can go to the instance document, and then we see more information, more XBRL information on it. We see that this is a non-numerical type. We see an ID fact that allows us to identify this selection that we have in the report. This ID also allows us to put this particular selection that we have, place it into the report, and this is a unique fact. We see also, for example, the language. This is English there. And we can even see if this part of the selection has a style, right? If it has a format on it. What can we do with what allows XBRL with block tagging? We can have what we call the continuation. That means that we can tag in different part of the reports of our report fragment information that is in different parts of the report, maybe at the beginning, at the middle of a page, and maybe in another part of the report, and join all this fragment in a one fact, in a one, for example, here, a user of compliance, statement of FRS compliance. We can also do multi-tagging. That means that we can select the same information, use the same one selection for multiple tags elements, multiple facts or elements from the taxonomy. And this multi-tagging also, or the tile tagging, allows us to have more granularity. That means a small part of our text from a big selection can be selected with one specific element of the taxonomy. We can also extract this information. For example, here I have extract the, this is just a test report that we used, all the information that I have in the ESEF compliance. This is extract for different parts of the report. So with the continuation in one single view, I see what I tag of what I am just see. So how are they used, or what can we done with them? I think we can agree on 4 use cases. One is a checklist. We can have from the taxonomy, we can see which elements we have, and we can use this for a checklist. So what we have or not in our report. We can use also this list for navigate and highlight information. We can use a taxonomy visualization program to just navigate into the report and highlight one of the elements. We can analyze text. We can extract this information and analyze it. We can insulate and rendering. Also this belong all of these use cases that we are agree on. We can validate, compare, and make some analysis of our narrative information. I put validation in a different side of because validation is belongs to part of, like, with validation you need some rules that are mostly on the taxonomy itself, had some rules for the validation, or authority, an authority gave you some rules for the validation. So it's more, it's not really flexible part, but the analysis and comparison is more flexible. You can decide how you're going to analyze, how you're going to compare. You can classify the information or reclassify the information. That's why I put this in different sites. Okay, so let's talk about validation of text blocks. So we can say if we can right now say if something is mandatory or not, if one element is mandatory. So we can use a tool to audit our content and just validate if this is mandatory or not, depending on what the authority is telling me or what the auditor wants for it. We can look if this information is in the same order as if the XBRL information that we tag in our report has the same structure and the same in the same order as the human readable one. So we can also say evaluate the order and structure of our text tag, our narrative information. Also, if we want to have semantic tables or have HTML tables inside or one text block element, we see a table, more or less a structure of a table, and we can also use a audit tool and look. This table has semantic elements of a table, and we can say we want to have this, and it's also possible to have it. Also, if you look in the instance document, you will see there that is a table. Maybe it's too small to see it, but you see the semantic information of our HTML table on our instance document. Other validation checks. Well, we know that in Germany, the authorities want other validation rules that ESMA has, and the auditors needs to do this validation. So we can build in our auditor tool some checklists, at least, to give our auditors the possibility to perform these other validations. But this is just something that depends on the country and the auditors. It's just a more local question, right? Let me give you some ideas of new validation rules that we can have. We can have some hierarchy rules for text block, and we can say if these hierarchy rules are mandatory for text block. So let me give you this example. Here, this is the ESEF taxonomy, and we can see there that we have certain of levels of where this text block is. This text block are in the taxonomy, the place that they are. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's say we decide to take number 4. And the question is if I take number 4, I also need to take number 3, to tag number 3, number 2, and number 1. So this is a question that we need to, or the authorities need to say if we do so or not. But this is something that we can also validate. And we heard yesterday from EFRAG that they are planning to have this type of architecture in their taxonomy from sustainability information, where we have a lot of narrative information and narrative disclosures on it. And the question is, do we want to have all of this tagging? But what we can do is to see this hierarchy on the rules. Other thing that we can do, that we know that if we are dealing with an open taxonomy, we know that we can make some extensions of the base taxonomy. So we can say validate right now. Here, I just create, you see the first one, a statement of IRS compliance. This is I extended the taxonomy, but I have the same element in the taxonomy. So here we see this is an error here. So element statement of IRS compliance is duplicate to the current taxonomy element. So that's nice. We can do that. Yeah. But let's see here. I just change the last letter of the word compliance and put an A there. So what happened with this? So we need a human being to validate this, basically. We need, or maybe we put an extra word that says number 1, number 2, or other classification that just maybe our auditors needs to have, or maybe the authorities say so, that we need to extend our taxonomy like this. But the thing is if this is necessary or not. So, but here we need to perform maybe more human work, not automatically one. Okay, let's move to analysis and comparison. So we have good news. This is that we have the technology of XBRL on already. We have a base data from last year in Europe from a lot of narrative elements. And as I show you, we have this information already classified. We have this information we put this information to one single element from our taxonomy. And so this is good news. So we can take this information and make some analysis and comparison with it, right? Let me show you here with a simple algorithms without using LLMs model or modulating models, or without using AI. Right now, we can take 2 reports from the same company and compare, and use comparison XBRL report tool and see if we have found some difference or not, right? So you can just see here, we have first the name of the company, the group, and in the second one, we have an S there. So it's the group. So maybe the company changed. And we have China and Germany. And if we go further and more, we can even here see an extracting way to see the things that we have differences in our report. We can highlight it with colors. So this is easier for everyone to see which comparisons we have. And we can also look for some word that we want to have. For example, financial, right? This is something that we can look or see, or we need to have in, for example, in this element, in this disclosure. So this is something that we can do right now. Yeah, it's already there, already done. We can also extract this to an Excel, to other formats, and see also if the document or the document has changed or not. And we can have this in a general view of every changes that we have in two reports that from the same company. So let me go further in this topic, analysis and comparison. So good news, possibility to extract information for analysis in different formats, wherever you want to put it, which format you can just choose one. I give you two examples here. Analysis, well, we can use large language models, LLMs, to make this analysis and comparison. Is in our choice to do so or not, and to put it there. But it's possible, for example, to, if I'm an investor, to take the reports from the sector I want to look and see the positivity of the reports. We can analyze there. We can see ask, please tell me which report is more or which one is negative, so I don't want to invest there. We can take several reports and look for the best narrative of my report. So next year, I just want to have the best text wherever it is on the of the reports for last year. So I can just ask LLM to do that for me. Something also we can look for uncovering corporate risk. Also, a great thing that we can also do. We can use maybe something even more simple to use a modeled topic modeling, and use ask for how often does a word appear in a report. For example, you see before with financial one, and if maybe I'm an auditor, or maybe I am an investor, and I want to see the word sustainability or maybe water safe or something like this, so I can look for that. We can go also for a supervised and unsupervised learning using LLMs. So we can, for example, take the reporting standards that we have from the regulator and compare with the narrative content that we have in the report. So evaluating how certain is our report, or how certain are our reports according to the standards. Okay, so we have that, but we have also challenging in our reports. So the first challenge is nature and site of text block. Let me tell you what I mean with it. The text blocks are a fragment HTML content that has we don't have limitation on formatting. We don't have limitation on structure. This text had maybe someone in China, or maybe someone in Colombia, or someone in Germany, and it can contain pages of narrative elements, or of text. So it's challenging to take this, to validate and to analyze and comparison. Extracting continuation is really nice that we can do that, but we need to take in account that this out of context is also a problem. So what I mean is, if I have all what I have tagged from an element, maybe it is not consistent, because some part of it is part of an other part of the document that I don't see it in my extraction, because it's just in other part of my document. So I need to, if I am telling that LLM to do so, I need also to kind of in the other side, maybe on the right side, have also the context of where I am extracting this information. Multi-tagging, so yeah, it's great as well, but we can create a lot of duplicates of information and redundancy and waste of time. because we have just the same information tag maybe 10 times. Other challenging is the massive number of extensions. Extension is also a great thing to have. So I kind of extended the taxonomy, but we heard some companies in Germany has 50% of extensions. That means this is out of the standards. So if everyone can do so, then it is also difficult to compare of all this information. So something that we can do is try to make a hierarchical and granular structure of a text block, because so we can do better comparison. We can also allow to using or combine other types of element as a part of a text block. For example, a Boolean type or other types such as energy type. And I think that is what EFRAG also is doing. Also, the first granular approach is also the one that is EFRAG planning to. We learned that yesterday. So, summary, we have this narrative information in XBRL format. This is a great thing that we can use. We can really have some advantage of it. We have great potential for uses. We have seen these use cases that we have, agree on it. We can validate text block, but we have a lot of challenging in to create new validation rules, and specifically more even if we go want to validate the content of our text block. Great potential also for text block analysis and comparison for XBRL consumers. We can use artificial intelligence to do so, to organize, filtering, and sorting the information. Is there a great potential, also important role to play? So let me go back to our gentleman here, and happy clerk that found a solution to process a lot of paperwork painted by Henry Fuseli. So the third hand that we give this gentleman is hopefully the XBRL hand to allow doing this really difficult task. Thank you very much for.
Please stay. I think we've just got time for a couple of questions for Catalina. Does anyone have a question? Lewis, go ahead. We probably need to.
Uses. Okay. What does that look like? That's a whole nother.
Yeah, I think we need to implement it. That we need to think about it. It's just some ideas that we have, but yeah, it's some ideas and everything. I'm ongoing. I'm planning, and I think at least in Germany is a difficult task to do, because we have a lot of legislation and a lot of concerns in the law to do so. But I think I see the potential in comparison and analysis, where you are not so into the law, But yeah, I cannot give you too much information about it, because it's just some place that we need to look for how to do it. Yes.
Which is basically the best solution, of course, to reduce the size of block tags, because you don't have to double tag it. But especially in the context of ESEF, is there any way of actually reconstructing a broader block tag when it contains text that is not part of any, not that broad tags on the lower hierarchy elements? And is there maybe anything that the specification has to regulate here, or it has to give us?
Well, I think that depends of the architecture of the taxonomy, how they design the taxonomy. So I think what we can do is through experiential, international, and working groups to kind of telling the architectures to do so. I think so. But this is depends how the taxonomy built. We cannot change how it is. And I was having a lot of work to finding this in the ESEF taxonomy, because that's the one that we have in the context of Europe, right? But this is a case that you see, but it's not a lot of them. Yeah, it's right. Yeah.
To answer this question, you have the best practice task force in XBRL Europe, and we issued a hierarchy of all the text blocks that are mandatory in the ESEF reports based on the work that was done in France. And this is published by XBRL Europe. So it's on paper, but you could have a hierarchy in XBRL and use it.
But I think, Pierre, this is also, I think that the authorities need to also say if this hierarchy, for example, is mandatory or not. So it's not, yeah. Yes. Yeah, you can use it. Yes, yeah.
And that was, we also had a look at that hierarchy that was prepared from France. But the big question is, there are some passages in most reports that are part of a broader tag, which are not part of any, like, not that broad tag. And if you want to reconstruct now the broader tag for view, if the user actually requests the content of the broader tag, where does the content which is not part of the lower hierarchy elements going to be placed inside of the broader elements when they get combined? So this is just a big question that comes to my mind when reconstructing.
You can go back to the architecture of the taxonomy and use a request. That's